You guys are trying to take your training to the next level and you want to increase your speed, your power, your conditioning, then you got to check out Phil Daru's 8-week heavy hitter boxing program. I'm telling you guys right now, it's no joke. And if you want to advertise on my channel, contact me at dantesboxingnation@gmail.com.
Hi, it's Winnie. You're watching Dante Boxing Nation.
How you doing?
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So John David Jackson, he did a recent interview with Fight Hype, and he said that Canelo Alvarez picked the Sergey Kovalev fight because Sergey is extremely weak to the body. He has no inside game, and he's the weakest link at the 175-pound division. Now, if this all sounds too familiar, it's probably because this is exactly what I said when I seen Anthony Yarde give Sergey Kovalev a lot of problems, hurting him to the body just like Andre Ward did. Canelo Alvarez, I've been telling you guys this since day one. He knows that Kovalev's style is tailor-made. Kovalev's flaws are tailor-made for Canelo Alvarez because Canelo Alvarez is a great body puncher. You know, some fans, they automatically think if Canelo's in there with a tall guy, then he's at a disadvantage. But actually, it's the contrary. Canelo Alvarez is at an advantage when he's fighting against tall guys because he likes to go to the body. And if he's in the ring with a tall guy, obviously he's closer to the body. Now, even though Sergey Kovalev is better than Rocky Fielding, I have a feeling that this fight is going to go similar to that. It's just going to be a little bit tougher than the Rocky Fielding fight was. I believe Sergey Kovalev, maybe I'm giving Sergey too much credit, but I believe Sergey will be able to hold off Canelo for at least the first 2 or 3 rounds. After that, Canelo Alvarez will start closing the gap. He'll get past Kovalev's jab in that right hand. Once you get past Kovalev's jab in his right hand, he has nothing to offer anymore. So I completely agree with John David Jackson's assessment. Canelo Alvarez is going to knock Sergey Kovalev out. I'd be surprised if the fight goes more than 8 rounds. That's why I thought it was pretty funny when Canelo Alvarez had the nerve to say that he's facing one of the most feared fighters in the sport of boxing. There's no doubt about it, Sergey Kovalev is a good fighter. I mean, he just came off of 2 great wins against Anthony Yarde and Eleider Alvarez. But even when Sergey Kovalev was undefeated, he was the best lightweight in the world until he got beat by Andre Ward, but he was never the most feared or one of the most feared fighters in the sport of boxing. But one thing I will say about Canelo Alvarez fighting Sergey Kovalev, it's definitely better than him fighting Rocky Fielding. That's for sure. I'm really looking forward to this fight. It's going to be an exciting fight for as long as it lasts. I mean, we all understand what Canelo Alvarez is trying to do. He has this big 11-fight deal with DAZN. He's trying to spread the fights out for as long as he can before he's forced to fight the toughest competition in his own division. There's no doubt about it, this speaks volumes of fighters like Jermall Charlo and Demetrius Andrade when Canelo Alvarez would rather fight someone at 175 than fight all of the best middleweights in his own division. So there's some unfinished business at 160, no doubt about it. Because while he's fighting at 175, we still don't know who the best middleweight is. And when I say who the best is, I'm not talking about going off of being subjective. I'm not talking about basing it off of who you're a fan of. We need to see all of these middleweight champions fight against each other so we have a conclusion. That's how it should be. I mean, I really don't know what's going on with Billy Joe Saunders right now, but there's no doubt about it. Demetrius Andrade, Canelo Alvarez, and Jermall Charlo, those are the 3 best middleweights in the world, and they all need to fight each other. I think Canelo will get around to doing it. But once again, this is always Canelo Alvarez's pattern. He'll take on a real tough opponent, and then usually it'll take a year or 2 for him to fight another really tough opponent. But more recently, Canelo has been fighting better competition a little bit more frequently than he did before. Because after he beat Gennady Golovkin, he took a break by fighting Rocky Fielding, and then he came back and he fought Danny Jacobs. Now he's taken on another fight that's not as much of a soft touch as Rocky Fielding, but clearly it's an easier fight for Canelo than a Charlo or an Andre, and that's Sergey Kovalev. At least clearly, this is what Canelo believes. Speaking of that, something else John David Jackson said was he believes that Canelo also took this fight because he knows he can win this fight. So let's see what happens in November when it goes down. I'm gonna wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.
External rotation of the shoulder, then back in.